So you've just started Marvel Snap. You started to unlock cards bit by bit, and you want to know how do you get cards faster and which are the best ones. I cover how to unlock cards quickly in this video here, but for now, I'm going to tell you how to dominate with the cards that you do have. At least at first. You see, cards in Marvel Snap are dominated by something called collection level. Unlike other card games where there are booster packs, in Marvel Snap you unlock single cards one at a time. At random. Well, mostly at random. At first you get this group of basic cards just for starting the game, and then once you hit collection level 18, you start to unlock these cards, which I'll now refer to as Pool 1. You'll continue to unlock these cards right up until collection level 214. In a random order, but once you hit 214, you will have all of these cards, and then you will begin to unlock cards in Pool 2. Does that make sense? Well, honestly, it doesn't matter too much. What matters is that in this video, I'm going to be covering all of the cards you unlock in Pool 1. That is up until collection level 214. I'll be covering Pool 2 in a future video, but for now, let's talk about how to dominate in Pool 1. See, as you collect Cosmo Cubes and rank up through Marvel Snap's ranking system, you'll at first face a lot of bots, but by the time you get to around Gold, that is rank 40, you will start to face real players, and these players will likely have very similar collection sizes to you. They're gonna also only have cards from Pool 1, at least at first. And now we reach the meat of the video. I'm going to tell you how to best utilize your collection as you grow it and dominate in Pool 1. As you start to unlock cards, firstly, you should focus on only really including cards in your deck that don't require any big element of synergy to work. Early on, you should avoid playing cards with niche effects or cool tech things like Armor and Colossus. These things will have their place later, but at first, they're just not that strong. You should also avoid big power cards at first, like Heimdall and Apocalypse. These cards will have their use later, especially once you start to unlock more move and discard cards, but if they're the first card you unlock, don't just jam them in the deck. It doesn't make any sense. Stick to Hulk. The Guardians of the Galaxy are great cards that you can use really efficiently at first without requiring any other cards to work, as their effect actually is based on what your opponent's doing rather than your other cards. So they're a great way of actually learning the game and learning to think about where you place cards and where your opponent might place cards. Rocket Raccoon in particular is incredibly powerful for the 1 energy slot that it's in, and is actually just good in quite a lot of decks even later on. There are other cards that are good when you start out, like Ironheart, Namor, Angela, Medusa, cards with reasonably powerful effects, you know? Medusa for 2 energy, 4 power, that's not bad at all when you're getting started. I was playing Medusa for quite a long time at first, and she was helping win games. Cards like Squirrel Girl and Mr. Sinister can also be very good as you're gathering your collection early on, as they can swarm your board and allow you to buff them, again with cards like Ironheart, but also Wolfsbane, Captain America, or Ant-Man. Again, the great thing about Pool 1 cards is that a lot of them sort of just allow you to play them as they are. Again, the Guardians of the Galaxy are great, Bishop's pretty good, White Queen is great if you don't want to put a 6-drop in your deck, because that will yank whatever your opponent's got in their hand. Spider-Woman and Claw are also both really powerful late game cards. Spider-Woman's okay, but Claw is fantastic, especially against these early opponents who haven't really worked out how to play around cards that affect multiple lanes straight away. Mr. Fantastic is okay, Claw is even better. Even later on, Claw can catch players off guard. It's just a solid all-around card. But speaking of powerful cards, in my opinion, the single card that you should celebrate the most when you open it up in Pool 1 is America Chavez. This card is crazy powerful. At the same cost as Hulk, it is only 2 power less at 9 as opposed to 11, but you always draw this card on turn 6. That means you don't draw it early, meaning it's sitting in your hand dead, unable to help you out in any way, and you always have a big powerful play to make on turn 6. America Chavez is also fantastic later on with cards like Jubilee and other Pool 2 and Pool 3 cards, but don't worry about that right now. For now, just jam her in your deck. America Chavez is very, very strong. Other cards that can be pretty good are big power cards like Odin. You can put that in a deck pretty early on, again with Ironheart, with White Tiger, with the other on-reveal cards that you sort of start with, and Odin is gonna do pretty well. White Tiger is not good later on as you get into pool 2 and pool 3, but in pool 1 against the early opponents, White Tiger and Odin combo is fantastic. Odin also works quite well with cards like Wolfsbane and Medusa. Honestly, it works well with a lot of things, so if you get Odin early, yeah, replace Hulk with that. It's a pretty good endgame card. I'll briefly talk about some of the other archetypes that you can find little snippets of in pool 1. The discard cards are actually pretty good. If you can get Blade, Lady Sif, and Apocalypse all early on, these cards are very strong. They work well together, and Apocalypse is a fantastic endgame card. As for Swordmaster as well, the thing is about Swordmaster, Blade, and Lady Sif is that they are just powerful cards for a reasonably low energy cost. So even if you don't have the sort of synergy package, honestly, the discard cards are a reasonable shout to just jam in your deck. They're just strong cards, and early on, that's really all you need to win. Ongoing decks are okay. You can use Onslaught or Spectrum to synergize with Mr. Fantastic, with Claw, with Iron Man, and these combos are okay, at least in the early game. But in my opinion, move decks aren't that strong. Yeah, you can combo Forge with Iron Fist and Multiple Man, but honestly, I don't think that these combos are good enough, even with Heimdall. I would personally stick to just playing strong cards over those. The problem with the move cards, again, specifically the ones that you're given in pool 1, and even pool 2 to some degree, is that they require too many of the parts to be drawn in the right order and to get into your hand at the right time in order for it to work. It's honestly just not really worth the hassle, at least as you're building your collection. Another bunch of cards that become extremely powerful in pool 1 are your 1-drops, your 1-cost cards, which work so well in conjunction with Kazar, a card that buffs all 1-cost minions by 1 power. Use this, use Captain America, Squirrel Girl, etc. again to fill up the board and buff everything up. You could even finish with Blue Marvel for that ultimate final punch. There's a lot that I haven't been able to cover in this video. Scarlet Witch, for example, is one of my absolute favorite cards in the game. She is fantastic. The fact that you can play her on a board where there's Limbo on the board and just end the game immediately on turn 6 when your opponent's expecting another turn. You know, there's some pretty cool stuff you can do with Scarlet Witch. Professor X is also extremely strong, but is going to be better later on when you've got pool 2 and pool 3 cards and you can really utilize his ability and do some next level things with him. But I think that is about enough for this video. I'm going to be going deeper into these archetypes in future videos, so let me know in the comments which ones you'd like me to talk about in more detail. And of course, I will show some decks in action too. But before you disappear, I have a video right here that will teach you how to unlock cards more efficiently and more quickly. There is a strategy to it, so click here to see that one, and click the other video to learn a little bit more about Marvel Snap. Thanks for watching.